Gentlemen.
Right.
Gentleman.
I wonder which one you're excluding.
I was responding to you. You talk to us, so I'm not leaving Wes out of it.
I feel like you are.
You were the one that said it.
Uh-huh.
No, I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Whatevs.
Mm-hmm. Where's Wally?
Oh God.
Where's Wesley?
Did you look it up since the last show? It's true.
No, you know why? Because I care about things immensely when we talk about them on the show, and then as soon as the show's over, I could not care any less. So that's
fair. That's fair.
Yep.
Fair.
Uh-huh. And listen, what I really want to ask you guys though is, don't I look fucking dapper in my brand new Astrobot t-shirt that for the sake of GamesCast, you can't tell it's an Astrobot t-shirt because none of the graphics are from like the waist up. So why am I even wearing it is the bigger question.
Why are you even talking about that, man? Like, it's too soon.
Too soon.
It's still too soon.
Oh, all right. But you know what it's not too soon for? Start the show.
Dinner. Oh, start the show, yeah.
Let's go. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We do it live video format for your viewing pleasure right here on youtube.com/ I don't even know what it is. It's like @without parole. They add these. It's so silly, man.
That's where they're at. That's where they're at. They're at here, right here.
2
without parole.
Turntables and a microphone. Is it 2? Or have we added a couple more through the decades? We got 4 turntables.
Yeah,
and
it's
a
3
microphone.
now. Inflation.
Oh man.
Yeah, true.
I like even numbers, man. I like even numbers. I was hoping we'd be up to 4, 6, 8, but now 3 is all you get. But we also do this on podcast services of your choice. Thanks to our good friend Rypop, who uploads this on podcast services of your choice. And of course, our good buddy Rody puts timestamps into the show after the fact. If you complain about Rody not putting timestamps in, I'll fucking block you. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And to my right, you're right, it's Wes. Nope, hold on. It's Myles from youtube.com/Myles. We're just going to go right down the line here. Wes got screwed. Myles in the middle.
What up?
Myles,
what up?
You almost didn't make it.
Oh, yeah. I've got the craziest story. Do you actually want to hear it? We got time for this?
I mean, what else are we going to talk about?
Okay. Just as a disclaimer, though, this is like a wild story on a topic of complete mundanity. So it's a mixed bag, okay? Finished my Miles Die Live, and I hadn't had dinner yet. So it was like 10 p.m. and we were talking about pizza. So I ordered pizza. And it turned out I had 10 credits on Pizza Hut, which meant I could claim a free pizza. And I was like, wow, I've won the lottery. This is going to be amazing. So I put the order through, and as it was processing it, it just wouldn't load. And so I went through and I tried doing it again, and it just wouldn't work again and again and again. I tried for 10 minutes. I was like, oh my goodness, this isn't working. Oh, well. And I decided to make myself some dinner. Like, I've only got like 40 minutes. I've made a quinoa chicken with veggies. It tastes even worse now for a reason I'm going to mention in a moment. So anyway, I'm cooking this and I'm sat there. Now, earlier today, I've been on this is going to sound so random. I've been on dating apps because I'm single. I'm looking for dates. And I matched with someone who said, oh, yeah. Call me on this number. And I was like, oh, okay. I just text and I didn't hear back. And they were like, oh, I didn't get it. And then later, I then get this text message back. I get the text message. Hey, Miles, sorry, but I'm a dude. My ex put my number on a fake Tinder profile. Good luck with finding everything you're looking for in life, though. And I said, sorry to hear that. No worries at all. Thanks for letting me know. All the best. And he goes, thanks, appreciate it. So then I basically disconnect with this person on Tinder who I given my number to because they said it wasn't working. Right. So big mistake. And then I started getting phone calls coming in as I'm trying to have my dinner. And I was getting like flashbacks of like baby reindeer going, don't pick up, just don't pick up. And it just wouldn't stop for like 10, 15 minutes. And and then it was like landline number, mobile number, landline number. And then there was a voice note. And I was really anxious going, don't even check the voice note. Don't. and I checked the voice note. And the voice note is a really quiet voice going, hello, this is a Pizza Hut. Your pizza here is waiting for collection. And I call them back, and basically Pizza Hut had been shut for 20 minutes. And they were like, are you going to come and get this? And I was like, well, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get there. And they're like, well, we'll wait for you. So I drive there, and these guys are like sat outside this closed Pizza Hut. I feel terrible. And I get my pizza, and this is at 10 to the hour. And then I'm racing back. I message you and go, I'm going to be back just in time. And so now I'm here at GamesCast, finally able to have my dinner, which is this boring quinoa chicken thing that I cooked that is not very nice, knowing that I've got a really tasty pizza downstairs that is currently untouched. So that is my story. That's why I'm running late. And
it's getting cold, bro. It's getting cold. Why are you eating that crap?
Well, I like this because normally I watch GamesCast while I'm eating. I've never presented GamesCast while eating, so this is going to be a nice twist. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to be eating on this call. So that was my story anyway, and I'm sticking to it.
Another twist: the pizza's a dude, so you can't eat it.
I'm a dude. You're a dude. Listen, if this story happened to me, I would have been like, sweet, I got a date tonight. Shit takes
With
you guys. You're
just way fucking pickier than I am, Myles. But bring your girl, man. It'll be a good time. The three of us can go to the movies together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem like a good time. I've dealt with my fair share of what's the term? It was a wild story. I've dealt with wild people in the past. People only need to see my live show from 4 weeks ago where I tell a very personal story that I have an interesting history with very interesting people. So, yeah, I've got my wine to hopefully make this meal taste better, but I'm here with you guys. Where else would I rather be? Well, downstairs eating my pizza, but
Japan.
This is the next best thing. Japan would be good.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, like if anybody ever said, Brian, where would you rather be? I mean, usually home. I'd always rather be home than anywhere else, but I think close second is Japan. So if I wasn't home and somebody said, where would you rather be? Japan. Phil James with the £5 says, Where's Wally was the original? Where's Waldo was the remake? I love how we get trapped into these irrelevant conversations. I also want to know if that's true. I want to know. I do want to know if Where's Wally was the original, and then it got bastardized as it moves over here to North America. These are things we need
Where's
to know.
Wally? I guess I should watch the show more, huh?
Have you? I mean, when you were a kid, you don't remember? You didn't have Where's Waldo books? Those big books where it's
Waldo.
Yeah,
Waldo for sure.
Well, in the UK, it's called Where's Wally.
No way. Really?
Well, I can tell you where he's at then. I can at least narrow it down.
There you go.
All right, man. Guys, thanks everybody for being here. I feel like this is the first real show we've done in a while. It feels like that, but I think I was looking through. I was trying to figure out whose turn it was for the 5-minute challenge tonight, and so I went to last week's, and last week it was just me and Myles, and I guess it was the three of us the week prior, and then I think it was just me and Wes the week prior to that. So like it's been a very AJ-less existence around here. I think aliens are attacking. I don't know what that noise was.
Who's AJ?
Wait, excellent question. Listen, not to bring everybody down, right? AJ's been like crazy busy at work, and that's where he's been the last couple of weeks. But I'm sure everybody is familiar with his dog Rock, who's been always in the background of AJ. Like he's always like sitting right back here while AJ streams. And Rock, the goodest of good boys, passed away yesterday, and so sending thoughts and prayers to AJ. Everyone sends some love to him. AJ's a great guy. Rock was a great dog, and we will have AJ back hopefully next week. But there's going to be no pressure whatsoever on him to get back up and running. He's got enough going on.
Oh. Much love to him.
Jay Meow with the level 3 membership says, whenever you get to the PSVR2 sales bit, I want to ask whether you think the sale will become a permanent price drop. If so, when do you think it'll happen officially? Around Christmas? Well. I think we should just dive right into that. I don't mind jumping around the run of show. We can start right off and talk about this price cut that it got. And so if anybody's not familiar somehow, PSVR2 got a massive price drop this week, just a couple days ago. It started in the UK. It was £200 off. That sale came to the US, $200 off. So it was selling for $350 rather than $550, which is an amazing deal. And next thing you know, it started selling out left and right. It was here in the States. It's now no longer available in Walmart. It's no longer available on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people that are that feel really kind of shafted by this because they are patiently waiting for the sale to come to their territories, right? It doesn't seem like it's in Canada or Mexico yet. It doesn't seem like it's in most of European countries. So I can't imagine, and maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe they're doing some test marketing here with just a couple regions, but I can't imagine that this isn't something that'll come to other regions soon. Do you guys think it'll make its way to Europe this week or something?
I mean, I had assumed that it was already there since it kind of started in UK, but
Right.
yeah, I have no clue. I hope so. Hopefully everyone gets the same shot at it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of stock they have there. If the numbers are already low at those local retailers, then maybe not. But I would imagine so. Like if it's going to go on sale for the majority of the user base, then I would say smaller territories will get it at some point as well. Hopefully.
Yeah, I assume that the mainland Europe had it already, just because of, even if it wasn't just from the UK beginning, once it went to the States, I thought it would have as well. But I'm definitely glad it has been spreading. So definitely generated a lot of conversation online this week and a lot of excitement for a lot of people that have genuinely wanted to jump in, but just it's been outside their price range. So it's been good to see.
So it's been selling like crazy. The report is that here, you know what? Let me just bring it up because we'll go straight to the source here. This comes to us from The Shortcut. Now, I got to say, right off the bat, this is not a website I was familiar with at all. But everyone does seem to be taking this at face value. Everyone seems to be, reporting this as fact. So let's, we'll follow suit here, and hopefully it turns out to be true. Shortcut from Matt Swider over there says, exclusive PSVR2 sales surge over 2,000% after Sony's huge price drop. Update, Sony's PSVR2 is sold out on Amazon as sales spike for the PS5 VR headset. Here's the story of how things changed in just 24 hours. Here we go. The price of PSVR2 was always too high, and further proving that widely held theory, we saw the sales of the PS5 VR headset suddenly skyrocket on Sunday. The timing is no coincidence. Amazon had the PSVR2 for $200 off, and according to the exclusive retailer data seen by The Shortcut, sales of the PSVR2 skyrocketed by over 2,350% over a 24-hour period. In fact, there were more PSVR2 sales on Sunday than in the first 7 months of 2024 combined. Amazon is now sold out, but we're still seeing the VR headset in stock at Walmart. Walmart and other U.S. retailers followed suit with their own price drops after Best Buy, which was first and Amazon second, reduced the price on Sunday morning. So the surge in PSVR2 sales wasn't limited to just Amazon. This jumps back and says what happened to PSVR2 and gives a little bit of history. So let's...
Yeah, because what's the point in buying a cheap headset if there's no games, right?
Right. Obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
You need games to play on a headset, so there's that.
Let's get back to Jay Meow's question. He said, do you think this will become a permanent price drop? If so, when do you think it'll officially happen? Around Christmas? I want to back up even further than that, though, and say, why do you think this was done? This was clearly a manufacturer's discount. Amazon would have just dropped the price randomly, and then all these other retailers wouldn't have followed suit just randomly. And if you do go to direct.playstation.com, in the territories where the sale is active, you will see that Sony themselves are also selling the headset at $200 off. So the question is why, first and foremost? Why, Myles, why do you think Sony dropped the price?
I think part of it's going to be because of days of play. They had a discount. It wasn't as deep, but it definitely would have shifted some units. And when you have got sales being stagnant, and then you see an increase based on that, they would say, right, this is clearly a factor that is impacting the amount that we sell, and so that would push them to then give it a try. They did it in the UK, then they did it in the US, so it shows you that they're doing it in a phased approach, which means they're constantly testing the waters. But I'm actually going to quickly just take it even further back in terms of like, I mean, it still taps into the question, but it's kind of like, why now? If this was the case, why didn't they have it at this price to begin with? And we'd always said on the show that when PSVR2 came out, early adopters always pay a premium because they're people that believe in it already. They're happy to pay. If they've had PSVR, they're happy to get it on PSVR2. And selling it at the price, this discounted price now, only feels amazing because of how far it's dropped from. And so there's always this difference between like perceived value and actual value. And to give a really random example is, I'll never forget as a kid going on eBay and seeing these like slices of burnt toast going for like $50 on auctions, and people were paying for it because it says $50. They're like, it must be worth that. And you know, obviously that's to the extreme, but like consumer perception and how prices are laid out has a really like significant impact. And so I'm sure that's a part of it. So I know there'll be some people going, this is what Sony should have done all along. And a part of me does feel that way. But I think logistically, no, this was always going to be a multi-phased approach. And we're still early in the PSVR2 life cycle. I've made this point many times before. I'm just going to make it one more time, which is this is going to last such a long time because we've seen how good games can look in the headset. The bottleneck is the console itself. Not being able to produce everything at high fidelity as holding up objects up close. And so for the PlayStation 6, when that comes out, the PSVR2 headset is going to be great for that. And so, you know, we're not even on year 2 yet. Sorry, we're not even 2 years gone yet. So it's still early days. And if this becomes a permanent price drop, then this could be the start of a real resurgence of it with that next phase, which is appealing to people that have never given PSVR a go before.
I had asked why did Sony drop the price? And Ghost Shot in the chat said to sell headsets, maybe.
To sell headsets,
yeah.
Right? Why did the chicken cross the road? Right, to get to the other side.
And so so there.
That's a really good point, though. Why are we doing the show? Let's get them on.
Because it's on the schedule. That's why we're doing.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point as well.
Yeah. No, this is and it makes right. And Ghost Shot's not wrong. Obviously, they wanted to sell headsets, but I guess we were trying to take the question a bit further than that, right? So,
like, why now?
Why
and why in this way?
Why now? Why this way? Is there something coming up? Is there? I mean, listen, we are literally just a couple weeks away from the PCVR adapter. And even before the price drop, people were saying this is one of the better deals you can get for a PC VR headset. Right, there's a lot of shit going on in this headset, and it's high quality. And this is, Wes, do you think this is just Sony's way of being like, now it's definitive? This is the answer. If you want a PC VR headset, this is the one that you want.
Kinda. Honestly, I think it's a number of different reasons. Why now? Why this price? I got to admit, I am a bit surprised. Like, we all knew that this was the right move.
Yeah.
But how often have they been doing the right move? You know what I mean? I think we all kind of expected them to try to bleed the PC market for a few months before they knocked the price down. At which point it probably would have been way too late. But there's a number of reasons. One, it's time for a sale. Like, it's been around for 18 months. Sales are starting to kind of stagnate. The general consumer sentiment around the platform is starting to turn negative. Let's be honest, the platform needed a jolt. It needed a kickstart. It needed something to pick it back up because it was trending in the wrong direction. So there's that. Why this price? Well, I mean, it could be a few different reasons. One, I mean, the obvious reason is that Meta has artificially devalued the technology. by making Quest 2 so cheap and selling it at a loss. First of all, we know that the Quest 3 Lite is coming very soon.
Ooh, good point.
And we expect it to be in this same price bracket.
Yeah.
And it's going to do PCVR, and it's going to have mixed reality and all of these bells and whistles on it as well. So that they need to beat that to market. And furthermore, the console's $399. And as we all know, it's the rule of thumb is you can't have a peripheral that costs more than the console. So $350 is just under what the console costs.
Is it 400? Is it not 500 still?
It was $500 for the disc version, $400
Oh,
for the discless version, right? So yeah, so we're just under the console price, and this will continue to be the deal of the century until PS5 Pro comes out and they knock the console down to 300, and then everyone starts complaining again.
I got 449 for the slim. With
Is it 49?
No, with the drive, dude. This is how out of touch I've been about the about all this for a while. It doesn't it doesn't
The
seem
disc
like
drive is an add-on now, isn't it? That is the standard. They got rid of the like I think if you get it with a disc drive, I think it's an extra thing.
does Amazon,
They remodeled it.
does Amazon really not have the discless PS5 Slim in stock?
Discless.
It's hard to say.
People.
All right, hold on. Digital Edition Slim. Yeah, they don't have it in stock. So PlayStation is selling out on Amazon left and right. Pretty crazy. But thank you. Yeah, it does sound like you've nailed it. $400 for that, and then yeah, all right. Listen, this is all starting to make a lot of sense. However, there's definitely the negative perception out there that Sony's done this in order to just, well, we're done with this. Let's discount it to the point where everyone's just going to buy it, and we're going to clear out the stock, and then we can wipe our hands clean of PSVR2.
Absolutely not. They'll start production back up now. If it really sold like that, and it's really sold out on all of these major manufacturers in the West, they will now start production back up. Now, it might not be full steam ahead like it was before. It might be a low production number just to kind of keep them on the shelf. There might be 2 at every retailer that you go to, but I believe that this will definitely bring production back again. And there will be no story, and we will not know about it because they don't report on stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, dude, they didn't even report on the fact that there's a discount. The sale just happened, and didn't even try to publicize it whatsoever. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think the likelihood is? I'm just trying to knock out all the theories that I've heard over the last week. So, what do you think about the theory that Sony's just trying to make room for a V2, something that's cheaper to manufacture, that has all the bells and whistles attached already. However, maybe like doesn't have any need for the PCVR adapter, something along those lines.
I mean, I think it would be cool. I think a mid-gen refresh with color pass-through would be, if they were really, really interested in investing into building VR and knowing that Meta's taking the market in the direction of mixed reality, it would be cool if they would just do something that had some color pass-through in it so that they can start to market mixed reality apps. I don't believe that's what they're doing. I just think they're trying to move some stock, trying to sell some headsets before the next Meta headset comes out. And to kind of answer the rest of the original question, I think we will see a permanent price cut by the end of the year. I don't think it will be this price. I think they'll probably knock it down to around $450 or something like that, and leave themselves some headroom so that they can still put it on sale and bring it down to $350 for holidays or what have you.
Yeah, I think what Myles was talking about with the perceived value, the perceived discount, shouldn't be understated. When you get this $550 price tag and then you drop it for a limited time, $200 off, and everyone flocks to it, everyone's buying it, selling out everywhere. then that's telling them something. They're saying, A, this is the right price. And B, people love a sale. Right. So, and so I honestly think that there will be people who are not in the know and are not paying attention right now and will miss this sale. People who wanted to buy this thing. And then you've got all the people who just bought it for the first time after hearing all the negative press that there's no games and blah, 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 the whole thing. Right. And then they get into the ecosystem and find out there's a ton of games and they're amazing. And look how much fun I'm having. This is my first VR headset. And they start spreading the word. So they're going to create people who also want to buy the headset. Word of mouth has been pretty much the biggest marketing scheme that Sony has used for PSVR2, and ineffectively so far this generation. And so I really believe that if you give, you put the price back up to $550, and then, in a couple months, like there's been a rumored showcase forever, right? Because obviously we got a PS5 Pro on the way. There's supposedly first party games in the works for both PS5 and PSVR2 that have not been announced. We had 19 first-party studios. We don't know what the fuck any of them are doing, except for Concord. So you do a showcase, you show something that you're doing first-party PSVR2, and you say, oh, that sale is back. PSVR2 is $350, or maybe you do I don't know, for the holiday, something like that. I have no idea, but I do think that they're going to repeat this in another month or two. And we'll probably have very similar results because people will realize they missed out the first time and that there is a lot going on in PSVR 2.
Especially after there's a new collection of games out. We talk about how many games are coming out between now and the end of the year because the value proposition, we all know this, isn't just about the hardware. It's about the entry point. There was a lot of people, rightly or wrongly, I think wrongly, who said when PSVR 2 came out, most of these are Quest ports or games we've already had on PSVR. Right. Where's the new stuff? There was new stuff. GT7, Resident Evil, we can list them all. But obviously, a year and a half later, there's a massive library of over 250 games now. Lots of great games. And so every time they do that price drop, it's also punctuated by the fact that there's this bigger library now that is associated with it. And that's going to be even more so as we get towards the end of the year. I've heard people or seen people online talking, and it's just could be hearsay, might not be true, but I have seen people saying the Alien VR game is going to make them buy a VR headset. Some of them have got a PS5 and they said, I'm going to buy a PSVR 2 for that game. That could have tied into people that bought it this time round with the sale drop. So I do think it is that combination of the swings in the sale, the value change. As you say, if you miss it, you're like, and then you associate that emotion with the next time it drops. Don't want to miss out next time. Don't really have the money, but I don't want to feel like I've missed out on it again. So it's going to be more potent if they do the swings as opposed to have a permanent price drop.
I think this is going to put us in a pretty good spot if this does become a more regular thing, because it's basically if this headset becomes a little bit more affordable and they continue to support with good software through the next couple of years, we're going to see our platform become basically what the original PSVR platform was. And it was a way for people who don't have thousands of dollars to be high-end VR enthusiasts by buying a console, which is much cheaper than a PC, and getting console or PC quality experiences at half the price. Not only that, I mean, the technology is coming along like greatly, from last generation. We've got B haptics now, and I mean, it's an amazing platform. And if PS 5 Pro does come out and the consoles drop in price too, and we're talking about now $650 all in to get a console and a headset and get like high-end VR for less than $700. I mean, that's a pretty compelling proposition for someone who's getting in or even upgrading from the last gen.
Yeah, and I like what you said about all these new games coming this over the next few months here. This is one of the most exciting times I think VR has ever had. I'm playing the Zombie Army trailer right now. We've got Phasmophobia coming. We've got Arcanage coming. Like smaller titles coming this month or August, with Arcade Paradise and Compound and, a few other titles. But, over the next few months, like along with, Zombie Army and Phasmophobia, we've got Metro and Aliens and Behemoth. I mean, like, it is going to be a fucking fantastic few months. And for Sony to, drop the price either, officially, permanently, or to just do another sale and include that along with just like a montage of trailers, right, of all these new games that have come to PSVR2 over the last few months, looking forward, saying if they air this thing like November, December type thing, like I think they've got a winner for the holiday season. I think they can, the soft launch is officially over, guys. It's finally happening. This is great.
And to be honest, and I know I always say this for a lot of the conversations with PSVR2 about like a lot of the issues with PSVR2 are issues PS5 has. Like, where are the first party games? A lot of people are asking that about the PS5. Do you remember when the PS5 came out? The question was like, what is a launch window? And we were like, because of the pandemic and everything, the launch window is, I mean, I argued it was when they stopped being out of stock kind of thing, which I look back on and think that was probably a misguided calculation. But the launch window for PS5 was prolonged. Like the soft launch, I guess it wasn't a soft launch, but the launch window was definitely widened compared to previous consoles. And I think that's the same with the VR. Is everything doesn't have to be about has it been a bestseller at launch. It's about playing the long game, and there's a lot of investments in this hardware that are, as we said again and again, going to make it last a long game.
Let's check in with the chat. Wally is now a game cat, specifically White Tiger with the level 1 membership, says Brian, you look 5% Japanese. Have to talk to my mom about that. Kill Artist won the Dreamweaver Game Cat with the $5 tip. Says, speaking of the headline, my best friend picked up a PSVR2 and he was super impressed. His kids loved it. By the way, Kill Artist, I saw your DM as I was opening my eyes today, looking at my phone, being like, this is a long message. I'll get back to you. And so but I did see he sent me a picture of his friend's kid, like loving PSVR2. He says now he's getting a steering wheel in a rig. That's how it happens.
Amazing.
The drug has taken over.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a gateway drug.
We got Nihilist Ride in the Game Feline with a $5 tip. Says, with these sales numbers, Sony should make this price drop permanent. IMO. We're back, baby. Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree. I thought we were going to be in for a real slow crawl this generation. I thought that Sony was going to refuse to drop the price of the headset. I thought they were just going to like be happy with whatever. But I do think you get to a certain point, and developers are like, listen, man, if you don't push these headsets, if you don't start increasing the user base, it's not worth our time to port our games to your platform anymore. And I really had a bad feeling that after this huge surge that we're getting towards the end of 2024, that 2025 was going to look pretty dry, right? Because they just weren't selling what they wanted on our platform. And I think this is going to change all of that. So I'll be going 2025 with some renewed positivity, or much needed positivity. Ooh, hold on. Snacks be munching game cat with the $5 tip says, any possibility this could be because of some kind of hardware update, a model that could sell at this price regularly from here on out. So I think asking that question is, I mean, sure, it's important and it's a possibility, but I also think that like I don't know if Sony's going to feel the need to do that. How much money are they going to spend on R&D to come up with a cheaper model, right? Is it going to be worth their time? Also, it would be really nice if we had some solid figures about, are they losing money on this deal? Are they taking a $50, $100 price on each one of these? Or are they still breaking even? If those numbers were made public, I think we'd have a better answer for this kind of thing. Paradise Decay.
DJ Dirty Yeller in the chat says, can we get Rec Room now? Totally agree. I would be so happy. I want Rec Room.
Yeah. I mean, again, like if we start seeing better sales numbers for PSVR2 on a more regular basis, if we start seeing better sales figures from developers who've brought their game to PSVR2, I can only imagine all the developers who've already brought their game over to PSVR2 are thrilled right now. especially the ones who have a game on sale at the moment, right? Because that's the first thing people are going to do is like, oh my God, there's so many games. What ones can I get cheap? Paradise Decay with the £2 says PSVR2 on sale direct from PlayStation Store in UK and in the US. One of the few places where it's not sold out. Chrome Colossus with the $2 says maybe Sony changed tactics when Jim Ryan left. Yeah, maybe they were like, shouldn't we try to sell this thing? Let's try a new tactic. Yeah.
Hey Jim. We're gonna sell it now, man. Now you're gone. We're gonna sell it. That's what they said.
Not this year, not next year.
But eventually.
In 2 years when I retire.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Professor Lilith with the $5 tip says the Sunday multiplayer survey is open in the Discord. Choose After the Fall, Hellsweeper, or Ragnarock, all on sale. Guys, if you're not familiar,
Ragnarock, please let it be Ragnarock. I want to play Ragnarock with GameCats. It never is Ragnarock. By the way, I think it should be Ragnarok, if I hadn't said that already. Ragnarok.
Myles, what game do you think they should vote for in the Sunday multiplayer?
I mean, honestly, it could go anyway, really. I'm pretty indifferent about it.
Yeah. I mean, since Myles chimed in on this, do you have a preference, Wes?
One of the other two. I'm digging Hellsweeper right now, but I do recognize that After the Fall is a lot of content, and you can play with three friends in it. Yeah, I mean, if our community hasn't completely grown bored of After the Fall by now, that would probably be the one. But Hellsweeper would be the one I would choose.
After the Fall needs to be haptic support.
Listen, After the Fall is like $10, I think, the complete edition. In this, again, 40 new games were added to the sale like yesterday or today, and After the Fall complete edition is $10. I am not a big fan of that game, but for $10, like I wasn't a fan of it for $40. For $10, I'm like, yeah, you're definitely going to get $10 worth of fun out of it. Plus, you're going to see it looks great in the headset. The adaptive triggers are amazing. The haptics are amazing. I have not played it on PC, but like this, as far as I'm concerned, it's got to be the best version of the game. When it just feels great to fire the guns alone. So yeah, I mean, listen, $10, even if you only get like an afternoon out of it, or if you're like Wes and you get 2,000 afternoons out of it, you're going to get your money's worth. So I think my vote goes to After the Fall, which is shocking to hear me say. Also, guys, if you're not a member of our Discord, click the link in the description below. Come join. It's free to join. And that's where the best group of PSVR2 gamers you will ever find are. People say all the time, I don't want to go play with a bunch of squeakers. I don't want to play online games with a bunch of strangers. No offense to your community, Wes. The virtual strangers.
They're virtual. They are
virtual.
Best kind of stranger.
You can't offend them. They're unoffendable. Oh, most of them.
We have very successfully, very recently. Yeah. Anyway, come join our community. It's full of awesome people. And listen, like you see people say, I don't want to play with people I don't know. If I can, you'll get to know the GameCats real fast. And on top of that, sorry, this mic thing is driving me crazy. And on top of that, we play multiplayer games every single Sunday. We vote on which ones we're going to play, and then it's like, hey, grab a new game from the sale that maybe you wouldn't have played otherwise, and you've got a built-in group of players to play with. It's awesome. So,
can I just give another shout out to Professor Lilith for organising it all? And last Sunday was Gran Turismo 7. I've been playing a lot of that lately, and doing Gran Turismo 7 with loads of GameCats was so much fun. Like, everyone had an absolute blast, lots of laughter, and we say this a lot. The good thing about it isn't just like finding people to play with, but often, sometimes you'd like to learn about the game and learn about, tricks and strategies, and GameCats are just really helpful. Enthusiasts like you, like I, and so it's just a good way of just becoming more familiar with games. And especially if there's a game that you've been on the line about, like, for example, if it was After the Fall and you're like, oh, do I want to get it? But, for $10, if it is $10, to have a Sunday multiplayer, if that's what it is, I think that's worth $10, even if that was the only time you played it. Yeah.
Miles, what do you think of the new physics, the new tracks? What's going on in Gran Turismo? I haven't had a full-on conversation about this yet.
So I don't actually know what the new physics were, but the new track we did play on Sunday multiplayer, and I loved it. Beautiful, beautiful mountainside. It felt like a walkabout mini golf course, but with photorealism. That's kind of the way I described it. But yeah, just Gran Turismo 7, just the amount of content they just keep adding to it, and the fact they keep supporting it. And anything they support for the flat screen is supported for the VR version. And I finally spent the amount of time that I should have done at launch with it, just because I haven't had a lot of time to play VR. I joked to you on Discord, which is when I finally finish work in the evening, I get on my racing rig to imagine that I'm commuting home, driving my sports car back home and crashing into walls, which is never responsible. But yeah, I keep rating it as the #1 PSVR2 title, but I'm still, every time I jump into it, I'm just constantly amazed. And the fact it has that amazement factor, even without the updates, speaks a lot to this game. It is a must play. I appreciate that having the full driving rig makes a massive difference. But I've spoken to lots of people that play it with just the dual sense, and you can obviously do it with where you hold it in front of you like a steering wheel. So that there is middle ground there.
Excellent. I still haven't had a chance to drag my my wheel or my rig out from the other room. I've had all these grand ambitions to have things set up all the time. Been talking about getting my PSVR1 set up constantly, and shit just keeps getting prioritized above that, unfortunately. But
Disgusting.
it is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
Outrageous.
I'm also playing like 3 different games for review right now. So anytime there's a review on the way, those take priority over everything else. Sirens on my end. Yep. All right, guys. Like we've been alluding to, 40 new PSVR2 games have been added to the summer sale. As of yesterday, I believe they should all be on sale through the 14th of August. So you get about 2 weeks to pick these up if you're interested. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this because
You must have been so pleased, Brian. You must have been so pleased when they added another 40 games just after you'd done your videos.
I was so
Knew it.
pleased.
Very pleased.
I was so pleased. Yeah, the sale videos are, dude, I mean, like, it feels like a data entry position where it's just like you're just putting in prices and prices and prices for hours at a time, right? And like all the creativity is out the window as soon as the script is written, and then it's just like fucking editing for like 24 hours straight. But you guys, listen, not a lot of people watched the last sale videos. They didn't get great numbers, but what I will say is that the people who watched commented and said how much they appreciated the videos, how much they loved them, how like maybe some people found the channel with those videos. So listen, I love you guys, and that's why I'm doing this. So please watch the new video to make it feel worth my while.
Please do it. Please do it. Please watch it.
All right. Yes, Sugar Glider.
You need to have a black and white filter when you do that. Black and white, some sad violin music. Like a charity video.
Yeah.
Please watch the sale video.
Yes, it should. Listen, it all depends on what happens after the show tonight. I don't know if the video will go live tonight or tomorrow morning. The goal is tonight because I want to wake up tomorrow and not be like, oh my god, I still got to do the sale video. I'd rather be up till 4 a.m. and have it done than wake up tomorrow with that feeling. So fingers crossed that it gets done before bed tonight. That's the hope. We'll see how it goes. I brewed a lot of coffee, so I think I'm good.
You got this, Brian. We believe in you.
Dude, we've got so many stories to talk about, and all I can think about is watching Wes and Ruuts chained together.
Yeah,
that's all I can think about. What, dude? Was that a UEVR game?
yeah. That was a $5 Steam game that recently has gone semi-viral. With younger audiences and flat gamers, and
was it called Chained Together?
To be honest,
it's called?
Yeah, Chained Together. It was all Ruuts' idea. I didn't want to play it. Like I was hoping to play we were going to pick a mod, and there's like I could think of 50 other ones I'd rather play than that. But sometimes he likes these casual multiplayer games, and he said, "Man, it's cool in VR. Just check it out." And some very basic, very old, tried and true concepts at play here. I mean, it very much is an old school platformer in the first person, but it's set in hell, and it's quite challenging to do because of that damn chain. You have to jump together, you have to time things, so it's kind of hard. And there's a nice variety of levels. Like you continue to climb, like you get higher and higher. There's a meter on the side that tells you exactly how high up into the air that you are, and you just keep climbing through like these different biomes trying to escape hell. And it was fun, man. I was like out loud ha ha laughing at our hilarious failure. So yeah, no, man, that was good. It was the best $5 game I've played in a long time.
I had no idea that. Well, of course, there's a VR version. I've seen the clips going viral of the regular, and it looks like a lot of fun. But straight away, I'm thinking, Stilt, they could add this mode to their game.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be even more difficult. But yeah, it's amazing.
I've been trying to download a trailer since first bringing up this topic, but unfortunately we're just watching a Gran Turismo trailer. I apologize, my downloader's not working properly. But
look, we were playing it on the easy mode. So the concept is you continue to climb, jump from platform to platform, climb. There's obstacles, there's things that can kill you. Well, not really kill you, but every type of obstacle just kind of throws you off the path so that you fall down. And we were playing it on the easy level, which means that there's checkpoints, there's autosaves and checkpoints, and you can always just respawn. The normal level, you can't do that, and you just have to start all over again. But you don't necessarily have to start all over again, because you're literally falling down through the whole like previous levels that you've played. So when you start falling, you can catch yourself maybe at the beginning of the level that you're in, or maybe you'll catch yourself in the last level that you played through. But it's a very again unique take on some old tried and true gameplay concepts, and it was a blast. It was a blast in VR.
I bring this up for multiple reasons. First, because I guess it had been a while. No one. Chat. It's been a while since the last time I'd seen you and Ruuts actually play a game together. I don't get to catch a lot of your streams. And it was like a lot of fun to watch. So that's the first reason I'm bringing it up. Second is because you guys should subscribe to Wes and his friends that cover all VR, not just PSVR2, over on Virtual Strangers. Because more than any other reason, because your PSVR2 is suddenly going to also be a PC VR headset very, very soon. And we're not going to cover a lot of that here on the channel. Most of Without Parole is going to be about PSVR2 games that are native to PS5. I'm going to love having Wes on the show and AJ on the show so they can, they can share the stories of the UEVR and different PC VR games they've been playing over the course of the week. But really, make sure you go to subscribe to Virtual Strangers and AJ's channel. And of course, Myles' channel too, even though you're probably not going to do any PC stuff. So you can get the full breadth of everything that's happening and everything that you can play with your PSVR2 headset. So please keep that in mind. Click the links in the description and go subscribe. And thanks for the entertainment, Wes. It was a really fun stream to watch.
Well, thank you for the plug. And thanks for showing up and watching. Always fun to have you in the chat.
Speaking of which, the game cat Andrew Ehrenreich says, y'all, I super chatted, but didn't come through. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me check. It didn't come through. I will search through other means, Andrew Ehrenreich. So be patient, and I will take a look. Ben L. No, hold on a second. We'll get to you, Ben L. We got another one first. Drat Ebb with the level 2 membership says, after the fall during the GameCat meetup was some of the most fun I've had in VR. Did we play After the Fall at the GameCat meetup?
I mean, we had a
Oh,
console set up, but I don't remember after the fall particularly.
I don't either, but there was a
Um,
lot of stuff going on, so I was
yeah,
distracted.
that's
Yeah,
true.
that's right. Highlight Notes brought his console and his headset, so we could all play during the meetup. That was really nice.
It was amazing in the hotel lobby.
Yep.
Really, really good.
Random people walking by, like, can I try that? Nice.
Security was fine. They were like, yeah, this is just totally fine.
Yeah, right. Oh, security did not give a fuck. That's awesome. Ben L of the GameCat Army with the level 3 membership says the real long-term value to the sales videos is that it basically snapshot reviews on all those games. Yeah, unfortunately, once the sale's over, no one will ever watch them again. That's the downside. But I do get to repurpose them a little bit now that I'm doing them for PSVR2. I can kind of just drag and drop trailers, and if as long as I don't mention how much they cost in my descriptions, I can just drag and drop the voiceovers too.
Maybe you can kind of think about it going forward as you're crafting these sale videos and put them together in such a way. Well, now that wouldn't make sense. I was going to say you could maybe cut them up and make smaller videos out of them that are not sales specific, things like Brian Bites. But then you would have to make each segment a little bit longer, and that would make the video drag on forever. And that was a bad idea. So I'm sorry I brought it up.
Listen, I always think about the best way to do things, and then I just do whatever the fuck I want in the moment. So I don't. I'm just bad at this, man. I'm bad at this. I'm a bad YouTuber. Bad. Andrew Ehrenreich. I'm looking at all of the. No, the last tip I have from you, Andrew Ehrenreich, is from July 24th when Myles and I talked about Into the Radius. This wasn't on the run of show, but. Wes, how excited should we be for Into the Radius?
Very. I think there's been a lot of talk about Into the Radius 2 in the VR bubble over the last week because it came into early access, and everyone's beaming over it and talking about how good it is. And I played it for a few hours. I streamed it this past weekend, and they're right, it's very good. But at its core, it's Into the Radius, and that's why it's so good. So I think that PSVR2 gamers should be happy because if I were in the shoes of someone who hasn't played either of these right yet, and I had to like pick one to play, the first one's the one you want to play. It's the one that's finished and a fully fleshed out game, and there's a lot to it. You're not going to play through this one in 5 or 6 hours. It's going to take you a dozen hours or more to get through it. It's a very difficult game. It's very challenging, but it's also very addictive, and it strikes a good balance between like grinding style progression gameplay and you know exploration. Every run kind of giving you something fresh and unique, and it's weird and surreal and creepy and sometimes downright scary. I really like that game a lot, and I think that PSVR2 gamers are in for a treat.
My synopsis, because I played it last week for, I want to say like 2.5 hours before the show. My synopsis last week was that this is going to be really good training for Ghost of Tabor. Do you feel that? Is that pretty accurate?
I mean, in some ways. I mean, in other ways, it's completely different. But like, it'll kind of get you in the mindset of some of the more tedious things that you have to do in Ghost of Tabor, like taking care of your weapons and things like that. And definitely the looting is very similar. The UI in general looks exactly the same. Like, the backpack system is very similar. There are a lot of similarities between the two games. It's really just like the core gameplay structure that's different, right? The one of them is team-based multiplayer only, all about the extraction and getting in and getting out, where there's a bit more strategy involved and some really cool story bits in the Into the Radius. I always kind of describing the radius is like more for people like you and me. I think that you're going to like Into the Radius more than Ghost of Tabor, but it certainly will give you some useful training in how to kind of get into that mindset, that get in and get out, and bring as much stuff with you as you can mindset.
Nice. That's my feeling too, man. My feeling too, because of the gameplay, because of the overall vibe. Like you said, it's creepy, almost scary points from what I've seen so far. It definitely has my name written all over it. Still stuff that I'm like, seems like a little more technical than I like in my games, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm kind of excited to learn, to be honest with you. But I've also halted at the brakes on the Quest 3 version.
I'm told, and I haven't really experimented with this a lot, but Into the Radius is a game that stayed in development for a long time, and it had iteration upon iteration upon iteration. I'm told with some of the more late updates that they added in options for people who don't want to go so far with regards to survival. Like I'm told that you can turn down like the hunger and thirst and the weapon cleaning and all of this stuff. I know that you can turn down the hunger and thirst when it comes to like keeping your weapon clean and things like that. You can just pay for that so that you don't have to do it.
Oh, okay.
And after you get a little bit of stock and money built up, then you like I almost never clean my weapon Into the Radius, like only a couple times.
Nice. Cool. Well, I'm excited.
Always clean your weapon.
What's
always
that?
clean your weapon. Should always clean your weapon.
Should.
It's important.
More sirens on my end, but let's tackle a couple tips before we get on to the next subject. Macho, the real estate procrastinating GameCat with a $10 tip says, I know I'm late with this, but how about all them drums rock tracks? Even with how busy I've been since the accident and starting a business, I still make time to play it often. I'm coming for you, Hippie Pickle. Lots of new drums rock tracks. I'm not a drums rock person. What's up?
They keep adding to it and they're having bigger and bigger artists, so I've been impressed. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan, but maybe I need to give it another go.
Yeah, that's how I've been with so many different rhythm games where it's like I didn't like Audica the first time I played it. Trying to think of other games. I don't even think I liked Synth Riders the first time I played it. Pistol Whip took me a little while to get into, and then I think just once you start getting good at it, once you get into the groove of things, and you're able to put the difficulty up a little bit, and you feel fucking cool. Like you feel like you're doing something really awesome. When you kind of get into the groove and start doing cool things, and I don't think I've gotten to that point in drums rock yet, and that's my excuse for not liking it. So there. Mr. Bean, the underground game cat with a $10 tip says, do you have any recommendations for PC VR games to play on PSVR2 except for Alex?
Oh, so you want recommendations for games to play on PC with your PSVR2? Yeah, that's kind of what we do, man, on my channel. There's tons, and be careful with the modding, right? I don't know what type of PC rig you have, but you're obviously going to have varying results depending on how much overhead and how strong your computer is. There are some games with the modding that you can go in and plug and play and it's going to run perfectly, and then there are other more ambitious games like Returnal, that's going to take more tweaking and stuff like that. And to be honest, AJ is really done a great job in learning how to, like, he's better with the mod than I am now. So stay tuned to PSVR Underground if you want that kind of advice. But in terms of like built from the ground up for VR titles, you're still going to be excluded from a lot because the Oculus exclusives are on Steam. There are tools that you can use, assuming that they're compatible with PSVR2. There's a tool called Revive that allows you to use a Steam VR headset to play those Oculus exclusives. But off the top of my head, like stuff that's on Steam, Fallout 4, you're going to definitely want to get in and check out Fallout 4. And I know you've probably already played it, but I highly recommend going back to Skyrim VR and plugging a few mods into that. That's a very easy thing to do. And it's like a whole new game when you mod that thing out. So off the top of my head, those two come to mind that are available on Steam. And there's a ton more, I'm sure. Hellblade is another really good one. There's tons and tons. But thank you for the question.
You've got a whole channel devoted to it. Yeah, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, Brian, you should make a video for people who are just getting into PSVR2 right now." And I'm like, "But that's my whole channel. Like there's hundreds of videos and thousands of hours." It's like, and that's what your channel is, man. Like your videos for people who are expanding their VR horizons. You've got a whole channel dedicated to that. So search around, man. I think it's fun to explore channels. You know, when you find somebody that everyone else has been watching for years, and you have never touched any of their content, you've never seen anything that they've done, you get to go explore and like, go into the depths, the annals of history. I don't know.
Boneworks and The Gallery, part 1 and 2.
Ooh, The Gallery.
Yeah.
Back when Cloudhead Games was awesome.
Indeed.
They're still awesome, but you know, I want part 3.
They used to be awesomer.
Yes. Oop, almost had it. Ryan Scaberas. That's probably not how you say it. With a Canadian $5 tip says, "I was late for today's show. How's it going, Brian, Myles, and Wes?" It's going.
It's going a lot.
Myles has a date with the pizza guy. I think was that not how we started the show?
Yeah. Oh no, I almost had a date with someone's ex. Some dude. Yeah, anyone who's just joining and just, at the end, go to the beginning of the show. Story time.
You blew it, man. You blew it.
I did. Clearly.
Yep. Guys, one of the games that I've been playing for review this week is Compound. Compound is a first-person shooter roguelite we've been patiently waiting for it on PSVR2 for the better part of every day since the headset launched. We knew it was coming, and the journey is almost over. It has almost made it to PSVR2. I want to say it's coming on the 13th. I think developer just set a solid release date, and so August 13th, literally 2 weeks from today. And we've all played it. Is that correct?
No,
have we all played it? I didn't check with you guys before the show. All right, Wes, take it away, man. What do you think of it?
Well, I played it a little bit today. Did a few runs, and I had forgotten how fun and addictive it can be. Honestly, it's been around so long on PC that it's just one of those things that you kind of store away in the back of your mind, and you remember that it's good, but it's been years since I played it. But I got right back into it, and it's like I didn't miss a beat, man. It's what you think it is, right? Like it's an ode to those old school boomer shooters, and it really doesn't modernize the formula so much for you. Like the levels feel like old levels, like from like 8 and 16-bit days. And the gameplay is relatively fast-paced, well-balanced, and challenging. Even on the easy mode, this is a challenging game. But no, man, I had a lot of fun in it today. And I mean, we say this every time, right? But it seems to me like this might be the best version of the game because it's the same game. The game is 1-for-1 the same as it is on PC, but now there's adaptive triggers. Now there's better haptics. There's headset haptics. It's good, man. I had a lot of fun with it, and honestly, I hope I don't move past it anytime soon. I hope I put a little bit more time into progressing because I like the level and enemy variety that you get when you go through it. There's a lot.
Myles, did you have a chance to check it out?
I didn't because of shenanigans spoken about earlier. I was going to be playing it just before the show. So yeah, I'm really hyped to play this. I mean, my first gaming experiences were classic Doom, and this really, looks like it's going to transport me to that feeling of those early first-person shooter games. So I'm super hyped to play this. I'm gutted I haven't had a chance yet, but from everything Wes was saying and from what I've heard from people that have already played it, it's looking very promising.
Yeah,
it's almost like it looks a little bit better too, because I never really was a big fan of the color palette before. Like I thought it was fine, but I thought they could have chosen better colors. But it really it looked good in the PSVR2 headset with the OLED panel, and the 3D depth was just in your face, right? Like it was very evident. So again, another big plus of playing it on this platform.
Yeah, I agree. This was my first time playing it, and so I just had no idea what to expect. I mean, obviously the trailers are like, oh, it's a first-person shooter, and it's also got some roguelite stuff going on. I'm like, all right, well, I guess we'll see how that goes. And I had a little bit of a different experience than US. I was a little concerned because the game defaults to the easy mode, and I was like, all right, well, I'll run through on easy and see how difficult it is, and then I'll run through on medium, and I'll run through on hard. In my first run, I was being super cautious, and I played for 45, 50 minutes without dying.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I died in like 10 minutes.
and I got to the second to last level, which I didn't know was the second to last level.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, and then and I was like, oh, that's crazy. This game is fucking easy. And then it took me 7 more attempts to get to the final level and beat it, because it is a roguelite, and part of being a roguelite means you don't always get the weapons you want, right? Like the map layout is going to be slightly different each time, and so there are factors at play here. That means the first time you play it, it could feel really easy, like it did for me, just because I got some awesome weapons. And then the next time you play, you're like, oh wait, where are my fucking awesome weapons? And the longer you play, the more weapons you unlock, and it's got this ancient dungeon thing going on where it's like, oh man, it's like I thought I knew everything about this game, but now here's a new weapon. And I thought I knew everything about this game, and now I'm forced to use these 2 weapons that I've never seen before. And so it's kind of constantly throwing new things at you, but in a very subtle way. And so far I've beaten it on easy and medium, and I do want to beat it on hard before tackling the review. But man, it's fun. It's fun. You develop different strategies for trying to take out rooms of enemies, and you can play super cautious, or you can run in and just kind of go guns blazing. And there's benefits to both of those things. But yeah, no, it looks great in the headset. Looks crystal clear. Running it, I think 120 native. So, yep. And the adaptive triggers feel good too.
Yeah. The headset haptics do too. You don't feel it a lot, but when you get hit, you feel it pretty strongly. And shit, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something super profound to add to the conversation. Now
I bet that's the only stuff you ever say.
Ether.
Super profound. We call you that. I call you Wes Super Profound Dylan around here.
It's good. It's a good game.
Awesome. All right. What's next on the list, guys? We got hey, let's see what's up with the tips, man. Let's check in with the cats. Hold on a second. I got all sorts of shit bouncing up around here. Here we go. Eric, what's up, Eric? Q2C VR gamer with the $10 tips. Just wanted to tell everyone.
Not Eric.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's following us, Myles.
I know, checking in.
You haven't had enough Eric today? Is that what you're saying? Just wanted to tell everyone that Flat to VR Studios is out here in LA fighting the good fight, and we'll have PSVR2 news coming soon. We are fully supporting the headset. I wonder if that news will be coming out of the VR Games Showcase hosted by Jamie Feltham.
There will be a lot of news there. That's what I hear.
Who knows what the news will be, but there'll probably be news of some kind.
In case you
might
missed,
be VR related.
In In case you missed Sunday's show, the viewer takeover episode with Jamie Feltham, it was a little rough, and I do apologize. I was just fucking so out of it, and Jamie suffered because of it. I think the episode suffered because of it, but it was Jamie talked about the upcoming VR game showcase. It's gonna be like a lot of high profile games there, and he didn't promise, but implied or something. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but he thinks that there's going to be at least 4 PSVR2 games there. So definitely shit to be excited about.
I can verify that. I know that there will be at least one. I can confirm, and I don't mean from Flat to VR either. I mean that from one of the other studios.
Excellent. The Game Cat Andrew Ehrenreich with the $10 tip says, sending a new super chat since my first didn't go through. Maybe it wasn't meant to. It didn't really convey anything substantial, so I'll try to make the most of this one and say, Happy West Day. He put 2 Y's at the end of the day. So 2 Y's West Day. I like it. Thank you. Andrew
it works.
Ehrenreich. VR Central with a $10 tip says, solid crew to VR. Everyone better be liking the stream. I'll like your comment. That's the most I can do. Miles Dyer with the level 2 membership says, thinking of pizza downstairs. Well, let's try.
Which could actually, it was a poorly written sentence on second thoughts. So yeah, but like we all like pizza, and it affects us in different ways. But yeah, no, I'm definitely. Actually, I think Virch, who was it in the chat, was saying that they would donate $10 if I ate some pizza.
What?
Yeah, Virtual Resistance. I'll donate $10 if Myles eats his pizza live. Do I have permission to go and have one slice of my pizza downstairs? And will he donate $10 because of it?
Listen, the $10 donation is the least of my concerns. Go get the box of pizza, bring it up here, and fucking eat a slice. Like, I don't want to.
Yes.
I will never be the
Dad.
guy that deprives you from the thing that you want.
This dinner was disgusting that I've got with me, and I'm going to be glad to get rid of it.
I'll agree with that. Like I was for a moment, like I was wondering because you said this is Pizza Hut, right? Like I can't imagine someone jonesing for Pizza Hut like that. But when you've got like quinoa or whatever on your plate, quinoa, I imagine Pizza Hut must sound pretty good. Do you like Pizza Hut, Brian?
Listen, Pizza Hut's good in a pinch because you know exactly what you expect. What you expect is what you get, right? And what you expect isn't very good. But they're open late,
It's
and they can be really cheap. Well, listen, I don't like any of their red sauce. So every time I've gotten a pizza from them in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, I got to go back pretty far because I've only probably ordered from them like twice in the last 3 years. It's with white sauce, which is pretty good. And I do like Italian sausage and spinach. And for whatever reason, that combination is totally acceptable from Pizza Hut. I can't imagine getting anything else from them, honestly.
It's interesting you criticizing Pizza Hut though, because my understanding was in the UK a few years ago we were saying like in terms of tiers, like Domino's is at the top, Pizza Hut is probably near the bottom, and everyone was saying, "Oh, in the States it's the other way around. Domino's is disgusting, and Pizza Hut is up there." So, don't know.
I don't particularly like chain pizza at all.
Right.
But honestly, I like the cheaper ones better. Like I like Domino's and Little Caesars more than I like Pizza Hut and Papa John's.
Food porn. Here we go.
Ooh, hold on. I got to go full screen on this, Miles. Oh, that does look pretty good. Not going to lie. Looks better than Pizza Hut here.
VR Central says that no one out pizzas the Hut, and I beg to differ. I think everyone out pizzas the Hut.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually like Little Caesars.
Thank you, everyone. For giving me permission.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, Little Caesars, it's sufficient, right? And it's always like quick and cheap, and it's just like there. So
yeah, I imagine if I had kids, I'd be getting Little Caesars like all the time because it would be like the fast, easy way to do it. Yep.
I'm gutted I missed out on it when I was in Alabama. I saw it and I was like, I should go to Little Caesars, solidarity with Brian, and I missed it. Next time.
When were you in Alabama?
October last year.
Kind of feels like a big fuck you, doesn't it?
A little bit.
A little bit. A little bit.
I went for a date.
Still.
But then it was a dude.
Yeah. Gave me the address of their ex. Turned up. Oh no, my ex keeps giving me giving guys my address. Yeah.
Macho, the real estate procrastinating game cat right with the $2 tip says, I miss AJ. When you see this, love you, bud. We all miss AJ. AJ has not had a big presence on the channel recently, but that is all going to change soon enough. Yeah. Also, this summer schedule is not going to last much longer either. I believe I'm going to try to, as long as this lines up with Myles, AJ's, and Wes's schedules. I think we're going to continue doing the 1 day a week Gamescast for the rest of August, along with viewer takeover on Sunday. Just to kind of like make sure that there's enough live shows going on for everybody. And then I think maybe the first or second week of September, it's back to the old schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But we will see how that works out for everybody, and we'll keep you posted on when that will change.
Yay, I get to sleep in after Gamescast.
Yay. Yes, exactly. All right, you guys. August is looking to be like a pretty good month. Considering this is the last day of July, I figured we take a look forward into August. We got Arcade Paradise happening on the 8th. Dude, stop distracting me with pizza.
Pineapple, though.
This is really bad? Unfair. No,
that is. Yes.
What?
I like pineapple and pizza's amazing.
Sacrilege.
Jesus. I think not enjoying all kinds of pizza is sacrilege.
I mean, it might be good, but it ain't pizza. It's something else. It's some weird pineapple concoction.
That's fine.
It's not pizza.
That's fine. Whatever you want to call it, it tastes good. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, really good.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like buffalo chicken pizza also doesn't really feel like pizza, but it's delicious. And so, like, fucking, I'll eat that shit too. Just saying.
Have at it.
Yeah.
I love the chat. 2 comments next to each other. Love pineapple and pizza, and oh my god, pineapple is the worst. That just sums it up in a nutshell.
Yeah. Very few things have divided our country like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah. Everything divides our country like pineapple on pizza.
Love it. Okay, so let's take a look at August. We actually, I'm going to skip over some games. But there was the bocce game slipped into August. There's a new Arkanoid style game that got announced coming in August. We're gonna tackle the ones that you guys are interested in. As we mentioned, the Compound has an August 13th release date. Arcade Paradise has an August 8th release date, and the Utility Room just got an August 28th release date for PSVR2. I'm excited for the Utility Room because it looks like a very surreal type adventure. From what I've seen on Steam, I think people said it's only a couple hours long, maybe 2 hours long or so. Wes, have you checked this one out? Can you give me any insight?
No, I haven't really. I mean, I did notice it when it hit Steam, and I flagged it as something that looked like it would be really cool and right down my alley. But I never did get around to checking it out. So my curiosity's peaked. I'm like you. I am kind of looking forward to it, but I have not done it yet.
Excellent. That's it for August. Woohoo! We were running.
Can't wait to be able to talk about Arcade Paradise.
It sounds like you're playing it, Myles, but we can't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to talk, like, give my impressions or anything about it, but I'm playing it a lot.
This is horrible for the show. Just saying. I'm also playing it a lot, and of course there will be a review ready for embargo. Very excited to talk about that game more. I've been very curious about the VR version ever since like I said this a bunch of times. I only discovered this game because I saw the Game Grumps playing the flat screen version, and I was very curious how it was all going to work. And that's it. More information soon. So Actually, we can get around this one a little bit, right? Wes, did you play this on Quest? Miles, did you play this on Quest?
I did play it on Quest.
There we go.
And,
I knew we could do this.
I liked it a little better than I thought it would, actually. Like, I didn't expect to like it very much. Like, obviously, the arcade stuff's pretty cool. Like, if you're from my generation, being able to rebuild those old arcades that we spent so many hours and days and quarters in, it's a great concept. It seems like it makes even more sense for VR than it does for flat. But that's only half of the game. And you have to play for a while before you get to that half. What really surprised me was the early half of the game, how kind of fun and addictive it can be to just run the laundromat part of it. Plus, I mean, I really dig the vibe of the game in general. Like, the soundtrack's really cool, and it has that they kind of nailed that 90s vibe. So yes, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Much more than I thought it would on Steam. On Steam, but on Quest.
And that's your Arcade Paradise talk for the week.
And I saw some gameplay footage online of it on other platforms, and looking at it, I was like, this is a game I definitely would enjoy playing if I were to play it in VR. And I can imagine I'd be playing it a lot because the mechanics look good and the different arcade games, and you can wash your laundry, and stuff like that. But obviously I can't speak about my experience, but from what I've seen of other people playing it, I could definitely see it being a game that I would really, really like to play a lot.
Ben L of the GameCat Army with $10 tip says doubling down on the pizza money. Thank you very much, Ben L of the GameCat Army. And we got the Virtual Resistance who gifted 5 without Parole memberships. Dude, the generosity. I can feel it.
He said Miles Eating Pizza Live got some people free memberships because he said he was going to donate if I did it. So everyone's a winner. Everyone's a winner.
Thank you, Virtual Resistance. And thank you, Miles Dyer, for gifting 5 without Parole memberships to generosity in this room.
Solidarity.
Today.
I had to match it.
It's pretty crazy.
I'm pretty well today. I mean, that money was going to go to my date, but obviously it didn't get to. So I'm now dating 5 game cats.
Yep. How does it work when you gift 5 memberships? Do you pick 5 people to give memberships to?
No, it's random.
Is it random?
So there's no. I mean, I would have picked these people anyway, so I don't want them to feel bad. Like, I definitely would have picked these people, but yeah, it's completely random. It's like a lucky dip.
Well,
and I think you have to.
them.
Yeah,
There's
I think you have
one.
to say that you would accept being gifted. It's kind of funny though, dude, because when you do live streams and there's the people that never type in the chat, when it's gifted random memberships, you're like, oh, so you're watching, and it's like, oh no, I've been found out. So yeah, calls them out.
That's awesome. Man, something we talked about. I feel like it was over a month ago. Was this new game Tier 1 Direct Action? It's new first-person shooter with some pretty decent pedigree. All the developers that were part of it seemed to like they knew what they were doing. They had made other VR first-person shooters in the past, PvP games. But it was kind of hard to get excited about it because we hadn't seen any gameplay. So they announced their game. No gameplay. Did you guys check out the Tier 1 Direct Action gameplay trailer that dropped today?
You're asking 2 people, Brian, who spent most of today prepping for this announcement. I've got Tier 1 Direct Action coming out of my ears, and I know that Wes can speak more to it. Look, what I will say, and so yeah, just to be absolutely transparent, Impact Reality XR, which Wes and I work for, are working with these guys with Tier 1 Direct Action. And it's just a real privilege when we get to work with developers, in the VR space. The way I've always described it at Impact Reality is there's this underdog mentality, not just within the team of like, we need to help get the word of VR out there. But when you work with VR developers, they want to get people out there. It's why we do what we do on Without Parole and why everyone in the community is championing it. But something I have to say quite in particular about these devs is what I've noticed on interviews that they've given, and when whether it's on blog posts or on VR shows, is there's this common theme, which is we want to hear from the VR community, what immersive mechanics would you love to see in a tactical VR shooter? People who've worked on a wide variety of great VR games in the past, they've come together with this ambitious goal to make the most immersive tactical shooter ever made. And there'll be some people going, oh yeah, of course they're going to say that. But when you hear the way they put themselves out there and they're asking for the community not only to give feedback and their suggestions, but as is the case with today with this gameplay footage, it is a Kickstarter campaign. I just love that, because there's been loads of times in the past where we give feedback to game developers and go, we love what you've done here. You know, you should change this. And usually a lot of developers go, we'd love to do this, but it's now shipped and we're moving on to the next project. This is an instance where they are currently developing it right now. And so if you've ever wanted to have a say on a tactical VR shooter, this is the chance, like through their social media, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, look, there's no guarantees of anything. We hope this is going to be a great game, but having spoken to the guys and hearing their vision and seeing all the immersive mechanics that are shown in this trailer, like using the bandages, sliding down ropes and things like that, and them just being constantly open of, you know, we can't promise we're going to implement everything everyone wants, but tell us, we're here to hear you out. I think that makes this a really exciting proposition.
Yeah, and that was kind of the main drive of the trailer that came out today is, like Brian mentioned, the bulk of their team are people who worked on Onward, which was a very popular Gen 1 tactical team-based military shooter. And, they show off a few different kind of features, some of them more significant than others, but they all have this common thread of being things that the Onward community had asked for when they were starting to work on the Onward sequel that never was. So they wanted to kind of kick it off by showing people, hey, like, we want to build the game that you want. So tell us what you want and join, obviously, the team. That's kind of the message here. I think they did a pretty good job of that, and it's going to be an ongoing conversation. This is step one. There is gameplay in this trailer, but it's alpha gameplay. Like, this is still very, very early days of this game, and they're very much asking the community to step in and support the game and help mold it. So everything Myles said is absolutely accurate.
Just from my perspective, from an outside perspective,
I was about to ask you, what did you think, Brian, who's not had any direct attachment to this?
Yeah, it's actually really reassuring. The stuff that they're showing in the trailer is the stuff that I'd be most concerned about, and I wouldn't be that concerned about it. But I played Breachers, and I was like, yeah, Breachers is fun, but it didn't rope me in the way that I wanted it to, right? But it had some cool ideas, and then of course we had Firewall Ultra, that was fun but fucking half broken, and so like. And also very not VRAF. Like it did not feel like a game that was designed for VR. It felt like a game that was designed for a flat screen. And I guarantee you, if that studio stuck around, that we'd see a flat screen version of that game to up the user base, because it was fucking primed for it. That all aside, this looks like a game that was designed for VR. This looks like a game that was like taking the mechanics from all these other PvP shooters that we've had, and saying, listen, we've got that. Right, you're descending ropes from the helicopter. It looks like at the start of the round, and it's like that was a cool thing that was in Breachers, but like it didn't feel very good to do in Breachers. So maybe this will feel good to do. They're showing using bandages, healing, dragging teammates, like all stuff that like is very tactile in VR that we didn't get with Firewall Ultra. And so what I'm seeing here, it's like, yeah, it's early footage. It looks a little bit on the rough side, but they're showing me all the things I need to know about what their plans are. And a VRAF, team-based shooter is, I think we're still looking for the one, right? The one that's going to really define this generation. Pavlov was great. Crossfire was great, but it wasn't PvP. And so like, we've had really great games, but like, what's the one that's going to define this generation? And I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I don't want to say that this is the one, but so far they're showing me all the things that I need to see to be excited for it. And fingers crossed that it, turns out to be that. it.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. And what I did like about this gameplay trailer they put out there was right at the beginning you have that white card that says Kickstarter trailer alpha version of in-game gameplay, which is them just being upfront, which is this is incredibly early. And I always think about the developers I've appreciated with their campaigns of developing games who have actually shown the journey. Most recently, I remember, was it Motion Studio who did the Dead Space reboot?
Oh shit.
Have I made that name up? I thought it was Motion. I'm gonna have to look it up because it's gonna kill me.
Dude, it was the same one that did Star Wars Squadrons. Why can't I think of this?
Motive. Sorry, Motive Studio, not
you.
Motion. Motive Studio. They announced it, and everyone's like, "We're just gonna have," what they're going to clearly do is just release the game in its final form. But no, they actually did live streams where they were saying, "This is what we were looking at. This is the palette of the locations and how we're trying to stay true to the original, but also innovate it." And there's some people in marketing that say, "You're showing too much. You're sort of showing behind the curtain. It's taking away the sort of the prestige of this final release." But I would argue it actually made the community come along the way, because a lot of people were looking at this Dead Space game, a lot of people who love the originals, and the developers were saying, we love the originals too. So we want to show you this and make sure that we're working on this together, which, some of that is rhetoric. They're not literally working with the community. They're going to do what they're going to do, but they were bringing them along the way for the feedback. And I feel, again, there's a real opportunity here with Neuron Studios and this game that they've come out and said they're willing to listen to people, and as the months go by, if they are able to create these avenues to try out stuff and take on input and do that in a similar sort of vein, which is, we love first person tactical shooters like you, we love VR, so we're going to take the good stuff we've seen before but also push into the future, because innovating for VR, we all know this, is a tricky science, because it's not just about immersion of complete realism, because sometimes that can make things over cumbersome, can really slow down the gameplay. There's a real balancing act, and it makes me think straight away of Red Dead Redemption 2 by Rockstar Games. I loved it, but there were some people that loved it, but it was so slow, because every animation of, like, when you were looting someone, it wasn't a quick cut. They would literally get down onto their knees, rummage round, and then pick something up, and it would do it every single time. So it's like, yeah, it's immersive, it's very real, but for some people, they were like, takes way too long. I haven't got this time. And so in VR, you want stuff to be immersive, but you don't want it to be frustrating of like, I've got to, bandaging. I think that's a good thing. We've seen it in other games before that works well. And so it's going to be really interesting to see the different mechanics that they add to this. But I think on PSVR2 in particular, we are sort of waiting for that big hitter. First Contact Entertainment with Firewall was very promising leading up. And, we've all said it, incredibly disappointing. And it sort of just opened things up on who's now going to take the crown. And like Breaches, I like in many ways, but it's still not that it's just still hasn't captured the sort of the clear dominant winner feeling that you're going to expect from something like Firewall on PSVR.
It's interesting that they've got a $43,000 goal, and that this is day one, and they've already hit almost $17,000 of the goal.
Yeah, it's crazy, man, because they have this, like, if you read down through the reward tiers, there's a lot of like really creative limited rewards that they offer on there. But the top one is 5,000 euro. It's like $5,400, and it's literally like work with the dev team to create levels and like literally work on the game. And I think they've sold 2 of those.
What?
Yeah,
oh my
2.
God.
It's gone up to 2 today already. 2. Yeah. It's. I think it also says they'll put you in the game as a character.
Oh, well, then that
yeah.
Listen, we're going to start a GoFundMe so that I can get in this game, obviously.
There we go.
Or Tornado can get in the game. That's more likely. Dude, yeah, that is crazy. $5,000, and they sold 2 of them. You nailed it. 5,000 euros.
Oh, design a character, yeah. Participate in level design of a new map, playtest unpublished game modes, and get to know the team.
What else?
I'll point
and I
out something else too to the viewers that might not have noticed this yet. There's a limited edition 99 € tier in there, and I don't remember exactly which one it was.
Fire team.
Um,
Yeah.
but
team.
it's the one of the rewards is priority access to the game, and that's not something everyone gets, and I'm not sure that's something that everyone has noticed is in there. But if you're really interested in this game, you might want to jump on that while they're still available.
And the fire team, I think, is actually for friends, isn't it? It's you and 4 other people. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, there was one that like you get a custom like in skin or something for your whole team. That might be the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it says for Fire Team with 100 euros, bring your team into the game. This reward includes content for 5 people, full early access and full release, Kickstarter exclusive weapon, lots of exclusive character skin, in-game patches. Okay. Yeah, well, that's crazy, man. That actually clarifies things quite a bit because I was like, that's a lot of fucking money for day one, right? Especially seeing that there's only 27 backers total. I was like, that's a lot of money for only 27 people to give. But then seeing, why and how invested some people are into this, it suddenly makes a lot more sense. But very, very cool. We'll be keeping a close eye on this one as the story develops, obviously. Guys, let's check in real quick with the cats. We got Andrew Ehrenreich with the $5 tip says, since we're talking pizza, Brian, if you ever come down to Cape Cod, hit me up. I run a little pizza place in Barnstable, best on Cape, according to some. Some have said this is the best pizza place.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't go
what
to the
an
Cape.
invite.
I don't go to the Cape. You know why? It's all about like beaches and shit. And I'm like, I'm such an indoor cat. People go, you want to come to the Cape? No, I don't want to go to the Cape.
Something Square Pizza, if I remember correctly. Right?
My pizza place used to be Kelly Square Pizza. And it used to be
Kelly
the best
Square
fucking pizza on the face of the planet, hands down, no questions asked. I'd never had a better pizza than that for the better part of 10 years. I would order from them weekly. Best pizza I ever had. Dude, and the quality just has gone downhill. I've tried them recently a couple times. And it's just not as good, man. Not as good. There are cheaper, better options out there. Thank you, Andrew Ehrenreich. If I find myself on the Cape, and I do accidentally find myself there frequently, you'd be surprised. I will definitely look up your pizza place. Ace Gamer, the Gamer Cat, rare, gifted 5 without Parole memberships. It is crazy to see the generosity in the chat today. Thank you guys for being awesome members of this community. Ace Gamer, the Gamer Cat with $13.37 says, thanks for the gift sub, Myles. Oh, there we go. Paying it forward. Hashtag Tornado needs a Game Cat hoodie. That's fucking true, but maybe when the fall rolls around. I don't think she
Maybe
wants,
after the fall.
Maybe after the fall. Ben L of the Game Cat Army gifted 5 without Parole memberships. I don't think we've ever seen so many memberships being gifted in one stream before. This is amazing. Thank you very much, Ben L. Thank you everybody for your generosity today. You're all fucking incredible. Incredible. Makes me so happy. Guys, we talked Jamie Feltham on Sunday's show about Alien Rogue Incursion. The new trailer came out of San Diego Comic-Con last weekend. Shows more gameplay than we've seen before, but I want to hear from you guys what your impressions of this new trailer was. Myles, you want to kick it off?
I am cautiously becoming increasingly hyped for this game. I mean, even when we saw the initial gameplay clips, although they were brief and there wasn't a lot there, just the idea of being in that world in VR, regardless of if it's a good game or not, I'm excited to experience it. But seeing this new gameplay trailer, I mean, look, there's no guarantees, and I think it's fine for us to be cautiously optimistic in my case. But I just think about the bigger picture. What a year to be a fan of the Alien franchise. We got Alien Romulus out in 2 weeks, or just over 2 weeks. And then we've got this later in the year. If they both knock it out of the park, then amazing. But yeah, no, I've been really pleased, but I also know I am countered by the many bitter people that don't play VR going, but it's not Alien Isolation 2. And you and I, Brian, have talked about this. It's not to say that Alien Isolation 2 wouldn't be good for a VR game, but when people say it in the sense of, and therefore this must be terrible. No, this could be amazing. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I have seen people, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but take them at their word online. People have said that they're going to get a PSVR2 headset because of this game. And I do think that if it's a great game, this will be another system seller for PSVR2. Obviously on Quest and other platforms as well. But I think PSVR2 will definitely benefit, because who doesn't want to have headset rumble when you've got a face hugger grabbing onto your face?
You'll need it because it's becoming increasingly obvious that what they've said from the beginning is true, that this is an action game. Like you're going to be fighting these. It's not going to be like super slow paced and stealthy like Alien Isolation was. So what do we want from this type of Alien game? Well, first, the production value has to be through the roof, and at least it looks to be the case so far, which honestly doesn't surprise me with Servius. They typically have pretty high production value on their game. But that encounter of you fighting the aliens, that needs to be visceral. It needs to be intense. It needs to be difficult, and you need to feel it. And I don't think you're going to be able to feel it on the other platforms like you can on PSVR2. So I agree. I think for this game to be great, I think it's going to be good. I'm getting to the point now where I'm pretty confident this is going to be a good game. For it to be a great game, it's going to have to be one of these things where you're looking down at your scanner, you notice that there's one around the corner up there, and you dread having that encounter. You're like, they say you don't have to fight them always, that you can use your brain and you can use stealth, and that I'm hopeful that the alien encounters are so intense that it makes you want to avoid them.
Yeah.
And I think that they can definitely use the tools that PSVR2 brings to the table to make that more of the experience, I guess I should say.
AJ's in the chat, and he says it needs content, or it's content in all capital letters. And if he is actually referring to Alien Insurrection, Rogue Insurrection, Rogue Incursion, I'm just making up game names now. I agree with him, right? Because Servios is sort of became known last gen for like more like arcade style games that were light on content but really fun to play, had cool VRAF interactions and all that. This needs to have a substantial campaign. It has to have, I don't want this game to be any less than 10 hours of like awesomeness from beginning to end. Just variety. It needs to feel substantive, and I really hope that the fact that we haven't seen a real new game, a new VR game from them in 4 years. I hope that is exactly what they're delivering. I've seen other people online say it's that it is going to be a roguelite, and I haven't seen Servios say that. I haven't heard anybody from the team say that. And if it is, it better be a great roguelite. But I emailed them and said, listen, you guys got to clear the fucking clear this message up. Like you used a word like rogue in the title of your game. You've got to make sure if it's not a roguelite, then you need to tell people. You got to get on top of that shit. And of course, no response, because why would they respond to me, right? These videos come out on IGN. They are certainly not working without Parole. So fingers crossed for that one, because as much as I enjoy roguelites, we've seen plenty of them. So content, I agree with you, AJ. Content.
I mean, I'd be fine with moderate progression. It doesn't have to be super deep for me, as long as it's super immersive and has a story. That's really what I want from it in terms of depth. I agree. I want it to be 10 hours plus, but it doesn't have to be like super deep in terms of like progression systems. It doesn't have to be an RPG for me, but I need the story to grab me from the beginning and pull me through. I need something. I need one or the other, right? It doesn't need to have both.
Rody,
thank you.
Yeah, you go.
No, go ahead. I'm looking it up.
That's right. Rody says they post on Twitter that it is not a roguelite. Also, the interview I saw with them do with Damon
Damon
from
Hatfield.
IGN.
Yep, I saw that.
Yep. They mentioned what month it's coming out, which I don't think they've said anywhere else yet. So they said it's coming out in December. So that is the month.
They did
release.
say that. Yep. They also, I saw that they said that they were big fans of Alien Isolation.
Yes. Yeah. So,
It's kind of hard to find this on the fly unless Rody has posted this somewhere. A link somewhere to this.
I'll have a look now.
So I would love to put this theory to bed. Right? How could you not think it's a roguelite with the title? But
it would be great if it's not.
Exactly.
I would love for it not to be. I mean, even if it is,
I assume it came from a
necessarily
dev
mean-
and not their official account. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if it is, it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be bad. It could still be good, but
Exactly.
but I'd rather it not be.
That would be nice.
All right. Well, I'm not finding it here at the moment. All right, Rody, when you find it, definitely send the link along. You should have the ability to send the link in the chat. So, yeah, again, nothing wrong with roguelites, but I think we've all played too many of them over the last couple of years. And for a game like for an IP like Alien, I think we'd all want it to be something a little bit more. I don't know if cohesive is the right word, but I think you can tell a much better story when you're not doing the roguelite thing.
Needs to be scary. Needs to be scary and fun.
Needs to be scary. It needs to be fun. I like that. I really hope. I mean, I'm remembering playing other Alien games that go back pretty far, right? I mean, Alien Trilogy, Alien Resurrection on PlayStation 1. Those games were great. Alien Isolation, obviously PS3. There's been a lot of great Alien games throughout the years, and the thing that I am picturing in my head right now is that you've seen, and there are plenty of scenes in this trailer where the alien is where the xenomorph is charging at you, right? And it's just like, just these things are big, they're weighty, and the floors of these space stations tend to be metal, right? So I just want it to be fucking intense to hear the tung, 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 tung of these feet coming at you. The sound design is really important for that kind of stuff, especially like while they're in the vents or whatever. But man, like I want to feel that that stomping with headset haptics as they're charging at you. Like I just want this to be the most intense thing, and they've got the capability to make it that. So, all right, cool. I'll keep an eye on the chat, Rody. If you find it, let us know. Gonna head over to Tiff's in the chat. GC13 and Die Pepsi Cat with a $2 tip says, "Are you going to interview Servios for this launch?" We'll see. We'll see. It would be great. I would love to get somebody from Servios on the channel, but I've got this bad taste in my mouth from the Foglands interview, which I felt was very deceptive. From the Walking Dead Onslaught interview, which was Servios, I felt that was very deceptive. And I don't want to do an interview again on this channel that lets the developer get up here in front of everybody using my platform to say, hey, our game's going to be fucking awesome, and here's why, and then have most of what they say not be true. So from this point on, I want to make sure that if I interview a developer about their upcoming game, I want to have played it first. And that gives us a kind of a narrow window, right? So usually about a week or so that we have the game, we get to play it, and then review embargo lists after that, right around launch. And so if it does work out this way, I'd love to have somebody from Servios on the channel during that week where I've got a chance to play it, and I can't let them get away with being like, and it does this and it's that and it's going to be awesome. And I'm like, well, it doesn't do that, right? There's something very wrong here. Like let's make sure we get the right message across. I don't want it to be like an advertisement. That's
Christmas. It'll happen on Christmas.
It'll happen on Christmas. That sounds fun. I'm down. So that's your answer, Tiff. The long-winded answer, those are the only kind of answers I tend to have. Looper, the Underground Game Cat said, but you asked Tiffany about Behemoth without playing it. No, you guys asked Tiffany questions about Behemoth. Tiffany was not on here to answer questions about Behemoth. You guys asked her questions about Behemoth, and she answered. That's what's happened. That's what really happened. Guys, I think it's time to do a little 5-minute challenge before we get out of here. And Wes, I went back and checked the archives. It is your turn to pick a PSVR1 or PSVR2 game.
Always my turn. Yes.
So stop it, Looper. This didn't happen. Stop changing history. Miles and I have an infinite number of questions, but only 5 minutes to guess. I'm still very curious to know if this new format works. I feel like it needs to go down to 4 minutes, so it needs to be a little bit more chaotic, but we'll figure this out as we go.
Well, you say that now, but that's just because AJ's been away. Wait till AJ gets back. You're going to be like taking it to 6 and 7.
Right.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoa. Shade was thrown.
Well, he does have a tendency to AJ the fuck out of things. Oh, thank you, Rody. Rody's got us covered, man. Hold on a second.
Dev interview. Oh, is it on? Oh,
So
okay, nice one. Another one.
Okay, so this is from a site called The Gamer. It's a 5 here.
I wonder what they cover.
Pizza? More sirens on my end. All right, so thank you, Rody, for sharing the link. We'll have to watch this off.
Don't trust him. He said someone mentioned it on Twitter, and it wasn't Twitter, so he's clearly a liar. Can't be trusted.
Well,
Misinformation. We're going to get banned.
this is only 2 days ago, too.
He works with The Gamer, so he's just trying to get him views. You're going to watch it all and be like, oh, no, they actually didn't say anything about it.
Oh, damn. You know what the funny thing is I saw this video in passing, and then I was like, whatever. I already watched the other one on IGN. I didn't realize.
You were like, the title's not clickbaity enough. Yeah, I'm not going to press
awesome.
it.
Well, I'll include this information in PSVR this week. And thank you, Rody, for clearing this up for us. We really, really appreciate it.
Rody.
Rody's the best.
He's up there. He's definitely up there.
Yeah, listen, my best list is long because there's so many people that help me on a daily basis. But Rody is definitely one of them. All right, Wes, have you picked out a game?
Yes.
Miles, are you ready to play this game?
No, but we're going to give it a go. We're going to try our best.
Okay.
And
All right,
that's all we can do.
Everybody in the chat, help us out.
Questions.
Suggest good questions and suggest good games based on the answers we get from these questions. I swear that this is like the UK version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where the audience is actually against us sometimes. You know that's not a thing here. Like the audience actually wants to help, and then in the UK they like actually fight against the contestants.
Huh.
Is that real?
That's
Did I just
funny.
make that up?
That's a bit cheeky.
Okay. Here we go. Let's do this. On your mark, get Des. Go. Is this on PSVR 1?
Yes.
Of course it is. Is it on PSVR 2?
Yes.
Oh, that makes it easier.
Is it a good game?
Yes.
Okay. Does it have melee combat in it?
No.
Okay. Are you shooting guns in this game?
No. That's 5.
Is it based on a popular IP?
Look at him running out the
Clarify the
clock.
question, please.
Is it based on a popular IP that is not a game? So it's not a
No.
self-evident one. No, it's not.
Oh, so it sounds like maybe it's in a game series. I'm so confused right now. Oh my god! Look at all the green names in the chat because they're all members now. Oh my god, it's crazy.
I know. Look at all those members. I remember. Do you remember?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I remember.
Does this have a realistic art style? Thank you, Ian.
No.
Cartoony art style.
Yes.
Is it first person, as in like the character that you're actually controlling?
Yes.
Okay. Looper's wondering if it was a launch game on PSVR2.
No. That's 10.
All right.
This is a bit of a redundant question. It is already out on PSVR2.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I was just thinking about Wanderer.
Tommy's asking if it's horror.
No.
It's cartoony, so yeah, I guess not. Is it are there survival elements?
No.
Okay.
Was it a launch title?
It's not a launch title on PSVR2.
Sorry. Is there traversal? Is traversal a big part of this game?
Traversal.
Like swinging or climbing over shit?
Yeah, I guess. That's 15.
He says, I guess. What?
I mean, most games you have you traversing.
Well, I mean, like that means it's not
level.
Job Simulator, right? Like, I expect you to die.
It's not stationary. You move through it, definitely.
Okay.
Can you swing?
Yeah.
You swing
Thank you.
around a bit.
Yes.
Are you a swinger? You're a swinger, yeah?
You are a swinger, like the date you had earlier.
Wow. Is it the second game in the series?
It is.
Yeah, and is it like a Horizon style game? You fighting like robotic critters with a bow and arrow sometimes?
Sometimes,
yeah.
My God, can we just fucking end the misery? Is it Windlands 2?
Is there these weird rabbit
Stop
creatures
it,
with
stop
lizard...
it. You're hurting my brain.
It is indeed Windlands 2. I think 18 questions, so pretty close to my my prediction. You got it. Way to go. Fox Die Infected, I think, was the name of the person in the chat who nailed it in like 2 questions. Like, he knew exactly what I was doing.
There's always some data miner in the chat who like scraped your brain before the show even began.
Yeah. No, like pretty much immediately they guessed it. So well done on them for beating Looper even to the punch.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
it was my first time playing it ever last week, and I loved it. And I'm looking forward to going back in. The co-op aspect is amazing.
It's fun, right? It's an evergreen title too.
Yes,
it's a game that you can go in with friends and family anytime, and just have a blast every time. It never gets old. It's just a fun, well-designed game.
Yep. And boy, that some of the grappling, which I guess would be this game's version of platforming, gets super challenging.
Traversal, you mean?
What's that?
You mean traversal?
Yeah, traversal. Yeah.
What? No.
Like when especially with the verticality, when you're having to swing up, and like it's wicked.
Yeah. No, I was saying this is like the grappling would be this game's version of platforming. Like in a game where like you have to like land on platforms, this game like focuses more on like, you know, being able to hit the grappling point accurately and without flying off into the distance and then killing yourself. This is I do think that it gets super challenging at a certain point. And there are parts I just did over and over and over again, and like it just feels. You can see yourself getting better at it as you do it again and again and again. You're like, oh, I made it like 10 steps further this time, but back at the beginning I go.
And while it's easier to fight bosses when you have co-op going on, it's harder to stay in a group because people are naturally going to have different like ability levels. So the ones that are really good are just going to fucking go. And the rest of us are just like falling down the same gap over and over again, like trying to see where they're at, trying to find the little dot and find them.
I'm annoyed I didn't get clip of the week done in time because when Brian joined my Let's Play and at the end he said, "I've got to go," and you started swinging off into the distance. It was the funniest. It's a shame we didn't capture the voice, but I definitely want to have that with like the Jurassic Park music as you're just going off into the distance. It was majestic. It was majestic.
Well, definitely go check out Myles' channel and check out the Windlands 2 live stream so you have some idea of what the hell he's talking about as you slowly get caught up on all the PSVR2 games you've missed, because it is Myles' mission in life to play every single one of them live for you.
Yeah. And I've got serious catching up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like math games and stuff you need to play.
Oh, I've done them, man. I
Oh, you
got
did
all
those?
those important. I get all those important ones out of the way. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, you better get caught up, man, because shit's about to hit the fan.
I've got about 17, but I'm 17 behind at the moment.
Yeah, I think August is pretty chill. Like we've got about 3 games I'm really excited about coming in August, with a couple of smaller ones that might turn out to be okay. And then I think September is where shit's going to really ramp up. So again, guys, the calm before the storm. If you just got your PSVR 2 headset, welcome to the Black Parade. And if you've had it forever, then welcome to the Black Parade. I'm slowly converting this into a My Chemical Romance channel. I hope everyone's okay with that. Make sure you subscribe to Myles over at youtube.com/Myles. Subscribe to Wes and his friends at Virtual Strangers. Subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. Guys, this is where the shit's happening. So it's just going to get better from here on out. I'm super duper excited. As you know, as we get through summer, the slower days of summer, to get back to our old schedule and 3 games cast a week. I think it's going to be really fun and absolutely fucking necessary to cover all the games that are coming our way. So stay tuned for that. Quick shout out to everybody who supports this channel over on patreon.com/withoutparole games. We'll have more content, exclusive videos happening over there soon enough. Please be patient. You've been amazingly patient so far, and I love you for it. Thanks to everybody who is a member here, including all the new members from today, everybody who tips during the show, and everybody who fucking sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Here it is, you guys. Your clip of the week, courtesy of Izzard.
See in the lava, there's a...
I can see like a blue puddle thing with a checkpoint in it. Is that where you're going?
There's that as well. Yeah, but there's a yellow icon, diamond icon as well.
Yeah, it's 800 meters away.
Can we keep jumping across these things?
What, are you thinking of going across the waterfall?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Go on then, go on, I'll film it.
No. This next jump is impossible.
Well, it is with that attitude.
Yep. My feet are shaking again.
No, I'm dead.
Okay, I'm going to try and land on this thing down here then, Brian. Here we go. Geronimo!
I'm looking over the edge. Oh my god.
Oh, it's disappeared now because I went directly over it. I hope that means I've triggered it. Hey, perfect. Perfect landing. Oh my god, you're so high up.
I don't want to do it.
I'll catch you.
Somebody push me.
I'll catch you. Come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Forward. Okay, good.
Mind my face.
Hi.
Good job.
Oh my god. All right, you guys. Oh shit! We need to check out this day in Without Parole history, don't we? Oh my god!
Indeed.
Let's dig into the history books, Brian.
Ooh, I'm so excited. All right, let's see. What is today's day? Today is July 31st. Let's check out July 31st.
Oh, wow. Thumbnails were black and white back then, weren't they? All the way back then.
Yes. July 31st. Come on. What are we doing here? All right, let's go all the way back to July. It's gonna be 28th, 2021. I can't tell what it says, but I do see a big picture of Astrobot. I'm gonna click on it. Here we go. 10 million PlayStation 5 sold. Could PSVR2 be far behind? Wow. I
Yes,
mean,
it could.
on so
it
many
was.
levels, we had no fucking idea what we were in for. Yeah. What a good thumbnail, though.
Man, what a topic. Like, how about talk about a non-topic, right? Like, oh, they're selling lots of consoles. How could we make this about PSVR2?
Yeah, exactly. Non-topic. Although it's funny because you could tell that there was just nothing going on this time of year, even in like 2022, I think. Because the other one that I had to choose from was like the headline clearly said "Viewer Takeover Special," and so I was like, well, we had no news, so we're just going to talk to the cats today. Yeah, it's a little bit painful dredging all of this without Parole history up and being like, oh, it was another day with no news. Shit happens.
We should be proud. Like, we made it through that, and like,
Yeah.
and we were entertaining. I mean, even if we didn't have much to talk about, people still showed up. People still enjoyed the shows. It was still fun to do. Like,
yeah, and I think the people I think for that aren't really us. I mean, like, I love hanging out with you guys and talking about video games, talking about VR, and you guys become very, near and dear to my heart and very close friends to me, and so I love connecting with you guys on a weekly basis. However, yeah, if none of the cats showed up, like if no one was in the live chat and like no one was watching, it would have been so much harder to do. And so eternally grateful for all of the support and loyalty we've gotten over the years from them. They are the absolute best community. And we say this every week, but there's a reason, because it's true.
Well, look at all those green names in the chat. Oh,
yeah,
a sea of green members.
Boy, Chrome Colossus really stands out, huh? It's just not green.
And Tiff.
Yeah, Snafu,
Tiffany,
not green. What? Look at all these not green people. Not green. So ridiculous.
those are the Diet Pepsi drinkers.
They are. They're all wrong. They're all wrong in so many ways. We love you guys. Good night.
Bye.